All right, man. So I guess the first thing, I don't want to ask you too much about the kneeling because I know you've answered a million questions on it already. And one thing I'm curious about though, was there a specific moment that provoked it for you? Was there a specific moment where you decided this is something like that I need to do?
I mean, I don't know if there was a specific moment. I guess it was just the whole build up and obviously there's a lot of stuff going on in social media, but I think for me it was just I did my own research and um, yeah, I think it was just something I came to terms with and something that I thought maybe I could try to raise awareness for and then try to make a little bit of a difference in the world. So for me, I don't think there's one specific instance that really provoked me to do that. But
Yeah. You're about a month removed from it now. So now that you kind of have it in your rearview mirror a little bit, what's the reaction been like since then that you've received? And has it left you hopeful or even a little more like discouraged about how things are going?
yeah, overall it's been really positive. I mean, obviously there's going to be people that disagree, and I knew that going in. That's not something I was oblivious to, but I think I did it for the right reasons, and obviously to try to raise awareness about racial injustices that are happening, and I'm not just kneeling and hoping that everything gets better. I'm really trying to help out in the community, and part of a UND group that it's called SED. It's like an inclusive and diversion group. So um, been meeting every second Sunday with that, and yeah, but overall it's been positive, and had a lot of people reach out to me on Instagram and even over text, and I think they really just saw the positive benefits of it, and like I said, there were people that disagreed, but I think it was all worth it in the end.
Yeah. What are some of the things that you've been focusing on with the diversity and inclusion initiative? Is that like a UND specific thing where you're focusing on campus stuff or
Yeah, just trying to make the campus a more inclusive place. Obviously, it's been kind of tough with the whole COVID thing. We can't really, I guess, get out in the community like it would normally be, I guess. But one thing that me and my teammate Jasper Weatherby did do is we kind of held like a team movie night. Basically, we put on a documentary that kind of did a good job at, I guess, recapping over the past hundreds of years the racial injustices that have been happening in America. And obviously on our team we've got a lot of white males, and I think it was good to just kind of open some guys' eyes. And people have different beliefs, but I think the guys took it really well and learned a lot.
yeah, we've seen initiatives like this, like the kneeling and other forms of protest and raising awareness take hold in other leagues like the NFL, the NBA, MLB. Why do you think hockey's taken longer to kind of come around to this mode of activism?
Yeah, that's a good question. I guess hockey is a sport there's obviously not a lot of diversity in right now. I think you haven't done your research if you haven't realized that it's a lot of white kids that are playing hockey right now. So I think just to look around, and yeah, for me, like that's one of the reasons I kind of wanted to kneel as well, is I think hockey culture needs to change along with the world. So just trying to, something we've been talking about at UND is me and Jasper are going to try to, hopefully help some racial minority groups and get into the Ralph in the second half of the season and kind of give them a tour of the rink, or skate with them and kind of introduce them to the game of hockey. And I think that's how you're going to get more people playing. That's how you're going to get a more diverse group playing the game of hockey.
Yeah, it must have been all in all kind of a record year for you in 2020 with the COVID stoppage, and then this kind of stance you've taken against racial injustice, and then playing in a pod. I guess going back to the summer in terms of your on ice performance, how was the off season training complicated for you, based on whether it was arena availability or anything like that? And how did you manage to work around it to get ready for this season?
Yeah, obviously when the season got canceled, I headed home there for, I think it was about 2 months, and was just working out in my basement, and didn't have any ice, but ordered a pair of Mars blades and kind of utilized those the best I could out in the driveway, and was shooting a lot of pucks. So obviously, yeah, you gotta kind of do what you can do and use the resources that you have around you. But I think we're all pretty thankful that the pod got underway and we actually did play some games, and it was really nice to be back playing.
Yeah, talk to me about the pod. I mean, hopefully it's something that you only have to experience once in your career, but what was it like? And as you get further along into your career in the NHL and beyond, how do you think you'll look back on that December of 2020 in terms of your hockey career?
Yeah, I think that was obviously a pretty unique experience and just something that you try to take it all in. Obviously, we were there for 3 weeks, and did it get a little bit tiring at the end living in a hotel for that long? Yeah, absolutely. But I think the result that we got to be back playing the game we love, I think everyone was willing to do that, and we had a lot of fun away from the rink too, playing a lot of pool and foosball in the lobby, and guys getting competitive away from the rink. So it was honestly a really cool experience and something that I'll never forget.
You guys have had your games this weekend canceled due to the COVID situation in Omaha right now. I mean, this is the first time you've kind of faced this bump in the road. So, are you optimistic for how the rest of the season's going to play out?
I am. I think that's how you got to look at it. I think we were lucky to get those 10 games in, and yeah, obviously it's a bit of a bummer that our games got canceled this week, but I think the league's trying to work around it and trying to get us to play a different team right now. We're not exactly sure what that's going to look like, but I think you've just got to be optimistic, like you said, and come to the rink with a smile on your face every day, and just try to get better.
I know, I don't know how dialed in you are in terms of social media, but in the absence of actual Sens games going on, fans have really embraced you guys in North Dakota as their team. There was the Nodak Sens hashtag going around for a bit. You know, you had tons of people watching the games on Twitter. So, have you been able to experience that? And what's it been like to kind of have your team be regarded almost as an extension of the Ottawa farm system?
Yeah, obviously it's it's pretty funny, but I think at the same time to play with the Sens prospects on the team, and Pinto and Clevin and Sanderson, it's been really cool. So yeah, obviously it's pretty funny that hashtag is going on, and I don't have Twitter, but yeah, I guess some of my buddies have kind of showed that to me, and just thankful for all the support that we've been getting from Sens fans, and it's been a fun ride with those guys so far.
You've gotten the chance to play with, like you mentioned, two guys who are new to the system this year in Clevin and Sanderson. What's your impression been of them so far? Give for maybe those who, you know, don't get to experience the day-to-day interactions, whether it's, in practice, in the locker room or whatever. What are those two like as players and as people?
Yeah, two of the best guys that I know. They're both super super good human beings, and obviously both extremely talented on the ice. Both skate extremely well, and they've been a lot of fun to be around. And actually going to watch their game tonight, hoping that they advance to the finals tomorrow. They've got the Finns on their hands tonight, so I'll be watching that and cheering them on. But no, they've been a lot of fun to play with, and both players that I look up to, and guys that I try to take snippets out of their game and maybe try to implement into my game. So they've been awesome.
Are you rooting for them, or are you still going for Canada?
That's a real tough question. You're putting me in a tough spot. I want to see both those guys do extremely well, but obviously being a Canadian boy, I want to see the Canadians do well. So I don't know. It's a
Oh
toss up
boy.
for me, I guess.
So, for those who haven't got to watch you as much in terms of Sens fans, give them an idea of the kind of player you are. Like, is there an NHLer that you model yourself after?
Yeah, usually when I'm asked that question, I say Morgan Riley. He's a guy that I strive to be like, I guess you could say. I think he's responsible at both ends of the ice, and skates extremely well, and I think he's physical when he needs to be. So I think that's a guy that I try to play like, and obviously I've got a lot of work to be like a player like him in the NHL, but I think that's what you got to shoot for is the guys that are good in the NHL, and watch their games, and try to be like them. So.
Well, one thing I was really curious about personally is had COVID not happened and had you gotten the full season and playoff run in last year, do you think you would have turned pro this year, or was it always in your heart that you were going back to UND?
Yeah, I guess that's something I never really had to deal with. I guess what I will say is, like, at the end of the last season, it was obviously pretty tough. Not getting to finish it out with that group. Had a pretty special team, and I know that hurt a lot of the guys on our team, just not really knowing our fate there at the end. So, that definitely a little bit to playing to coming back, and I'm super pumped to get to Ottawa. But I think right now, obviously my focus is here at UND, and just trying to manage and help my team get back to where we think we can this year.
Do you see yourself competing for a spot in Ottawa next year?
Yeah, I think that's got to be the goal. I think obviously they've got a lot of really good prospects there, and a few veterans as well that obviously are very good players and have earned spots there. But I think as a young guy coming in, that's got to be the goal, is to try and earn spot. Obviously there's a lot of good players, so it's gonna have to put a lot of hard work in, and see where I end up.
I appreciate you chatting with me, man. I don't want to keep you too much longer. There's one question I was actually requested to ask you. He has a prominent social media presence. He goes by Sens Prospects, and so he studies all the guys in the Ottawa system. And one thing he's really been campaigning for is for you to retroactively get an assist on last year's gold medal winning goal, because he thought you deserved one. Do you think you deserve an assist on that goal?
Yeah, I think they gave it to another D-man on my team, but obviously the most important thing is that we won that gold medal. So, but that's pretty funny.